Frightening story from Pakistan. The tense standoff continues between Baloch separatists and the Pakistan army. Hundreds remain hostage after the separatists hijacked the Jaffar Express, taking hundreds hostage after a tense 24-hour standoff. Security forces claim to have rescued nearly 200 passengers, while the separatists say that they have begun executions of their hostages, believed to be primarily Pakistani army soldiers. There's a lot of information and disinformation being played out on social media. We try and get a couple of facts. Joining us, Javed Rana. He's a senior journalist in Pakistan, the editor of Counter Narrative, and Dr. Tara Kartha joins me over here. Thank you both very much for being with us. Javed Rana, just in the last hour or two, are these pieces of information which suggest that the Baloch insurgents have begun executing their hostages. Is this correct?
I think that is a claim which BLA, which is a terrorist group, has made, that as many as 50 members of Pakistan military were killed. But now we have heard Pakistan military spokesman, and he is saying that the 4 members of the security forces were killed during an operation, as a result of which all 33 terrorists were killed. And according to the spokesperson, as many as 21 passengers were killed. Now, again, this is the claim from the government of Pakistan. At this particular point of time, we cannot independently verify about the exact number of the passengers who might have been killed, how many among them were members of Pakistan's military or our Pakistan police force. That remains unclear. But what is certainly clear, I can conclude that it seems that Pakistan opted not to negotiate with the terrorists, because this could have been a very bad precedent which Pakistan did not set. I think that is the underlying message that has been given to the terrorists. But certainly, this is not going to end the wave of terrorism in Balochistan. There are huge problems, political problems, economic problems. There is a sense of deprivation among the people in Balochistan. And there is also a significant number of the people, probably they are running to hundreds, who have gone missing. They are under the illegal custody of country's security forces. They are without any court trial, their trial in the court. So I think there are underlying problems because of which I think the BLA, like terrorist groups, they are getting more and more people who are being recruited. But we should not forget the fact that the Balochistan is Pakistan's biggest province in terms of territory. It makes up around 40 to 43% of the entire Pakistan, and the population there is hardly 15 million. And then Baloch and Pashtun population, by and large, they are equal. Perhaps Pashtun have some edge in population. So if somebody thinks that there can be a separate Baloch country, I think they are living in fool's paradise. That is unlikely to happen.
Javed Rana, is there a growing sense that Pakistan is essentially losing control of what's happening in the Baluchistan area? This is not just attacks on the Pakistani army or the police, it's also innocent people over there. Attacks on China, your closest partner. A large part of this entire struggle targets the Chinese presence, the access to minerals and infrastructure development in that region. That being the case, is there a sense that Pakistan is losing control?
I think there is a greater sense in Pakistan that the Baloch population is being discriminated. I think there is a greater realization within the political establishment that this needs to be settled and resolved politically. Now the problem is that there is no representative government in country's Balochistan province, and there is unfortunately no representative government in rest of the 2 provinces, and also in the federal government. There was a minority party which won just 17 seats in a directly contested 262 House of the Parliament. It was handed over a government purely out of a fabricated election results. So in that kind of a scenario, when there is no political representation neither in the province nor in the federal government, then it is quite natural that people get disappointed. Then also the psychopaths, I will call them, the politicians who've been picked up by the country's military establishment, I think they are also a bigger part of the problem. Among the people, there is a greater sense that they don't represent them. I believe that if there is a genuine, free and fair elections in Balochistan and rest of Pakistan, things would change. But I think there seems to be a kind of a chaos in policy making in Pakistan. It looks like that there has been excessive use of force against the Baloch population. And because of that, there is certainly resentment within certain segments of the Baloch population. But we have to understand that there is a bigger picture also. The USA doesn't want China to rise, and there is a China containment policy in this part of the world. I know the government of Pakistan has been blaming India. Government of Pakistan has been blaming the government in Kabul. But again, the bigger problem deeply lies with the Pakistani government and perhaps with the military also, because they have to hold a free and fair, genuine elections, and there has to be a representative government. Going by the track record, whenever there was some semblance of representative government in Balochistan province, then I think the militancy in Balochistan that went down. Okay. So I think in a broader picture, Pakistan needs to put its house in order. That is a bigger challenge.
All right. I think those are important words, Dr. Tala Karthab. There is no real democracy in Pakistan, and certainly not in these areas. There is a missing electoral process. The will of the people has been denied. Certainly when it comes to opposition to not just the Pakistani army and the police, but also to the Chinese presence. Javed Saab, a final word to you. On the immediate situation right now, the Pakistan army and the government don't appear to be at all interested in negotiating with the BLA. That being the case, is this threat of executions of the remaining hostages, the numbers are large, apparently 150, is that a very real threat?
I think it looks like all is over. Going by what I have seen in Pakistan's media, this operation is by and large is over. It is a combing operation. They're clearing up, and government now is saying, particularly I'm referring about military spokesperson, he's just saying that as many as 21 passengers were killed. I think it is a bit hard to believe. Probably the number could be a little higher. I can't say at this particular point of time, but I think at the end of the day, the government of Pakistan, a representative government, whenever there are genuinely free elections, they will have to hold negotiations, not necessarily with the BLA, but the Baloch nationalist parties. There are genuine concerns. I think they should get their equal share in the development. That's a bigger problem, and they should not carry a sense of deprivation. And again, the bigger problem is, as long as that is not settled, then obviously any terrorist group, they will recruit more and more people, and that means more innocent people are being killed.
Sure.
No, it's not just people from the army who are being killed. People from Punjab, which is the biggest province, and the BLA holds Punjab responsible. That since the majority of the Pakistan military, that is from Punjab. And
Javed Saab, absolutely. And the loss of lives, and I'm just interrupting you because I've run out of time on this, but thank you so much. And Dr. Tala Karthab, thank you as well for being with us. We'll be keeping on looking at the situation in Balochistan very, very closely.
The growing tide of anti-Israel sentiments. What you see behind me is just tip of the iceberg of what is happening in the country. More than half of $52 billion black CIA budget is spent on espionage network in Pakistan. How would you handle it?
The US has looked upon Pakistan as an ally at one point, and then as an enemy at the same time.
That is going to be the first legal reason on the basis of which he is going to be instantly ousted by the Supreme Court of Pakistan.
Joining us live, Javed Rana, who's an expert on politics and geo-strategic issues.
In the world politics, which is not being driven by any moral principle, it is being driven by the hard geo-strategic realities. In a broader picture, more countries would aspire to have nuclear weapons.